Welcome to Coach's Corner, everyone. I'm your host, Coach Paul Tripoli, here with my friend, Coach Mark Hobley.
Peace.
Hobbs, Coach Hobbs, I call him. We have a special guest this week, friend of mine, Mark Adams. Mark, thanks for joining the show.
Appreciate you having me on.
Mark is a former football player at Vanderbilt University, so we're going to talk a little Vandy. His family has got an amazing family that everybody is into sports. Including your wife, but I don't know where to start. Let's start from the beginning. Mark, you got an amazing family tree. We're going to talk about your father-in-law, Fred Pancos, who's a head coach, and what an amazing Hall of Fame career he had in Tennessee. But let's start from the beginning. You grew up here. Talk about your mom and dad and your siblings growing up here in Pensacola.
Well, we grew up in Ferry Pass out here in Pensacola. I got a brother and sister, Mike and Glenda. We were all sports-minded growing up, and I went on to Woodham, where my best friend was. David Lee was a year ahead of me. He went to Woodham. He got a scholarship to Vanderbilt a year ahead of me, and then so when I graduated, naturally, it was a great place, great fit for me, and plus nobody else really offered me anything.
Well, talk about your high school career. What positions did you play, and how good was your Woodham teams back in the late '60s, early '70s?
You know, surprisingly, we weren't that good. I don't know why, because we had some pretty good players. We had several Division I players that left that team. We were like 2-9 and kind of bottom of the barrel, to be honest with you. One year we went 6-3, and we did go to a little bowl.
How did you get to Vanderbilt? How did you pick Vanderbilt? What did you study there? What did you get your degree in, and why Vanderbilt?
I had a few other small offers, Southern Miss and some of the academies and stuff like that, but I really wasn't highly recruited. But David was up there, and they came and offered me a scholarship, and I decided to go up there with him, and thank God I did.
Well, so were you number 66 in college?
In college, I was, and at Woodham, I played a little bit of everything: quarterback, receiver, fullback, linebacker. I got it.
Well, when you got to Vandy, were they looking at you for offensive linemen at Vanderbilt only? And how did you tell the story and how Coach Bill Parcells, he played for Coach Bill Parcells at Vanderbilt, and talk about how Coach Parcells turned you into one of his favorite kickers, he said, of all time.
I got up there, and I was number 66. I played linebacker. My sophomore year, that's when Parcells came, and we didn't have a real good kicker at the time. And he came to me one day and said, "Adams, didn't you kick in high school?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "You think you can kick up here?" "Yes, sir." And kicked up right. I said, "Okay, Adams, you're the kicker." And it was easy for me because I had David there. David was my holder in high school, and he's the best holder in the United States of America. He was great.
Wow.
We made all SEC and led the country in kicking that year. And then, of course, next year we made all SEC again, and they bronzed my shoe up there. So I owe a lot of it to David, though, because, my gosh, you know how important holders are.
They bronzed your shoe? I think Hobbs has a question for you.
Mr. Adams, did you kick in that game when you played Tulane?
We beat them 9-6.
I was there.
Oh, really?
I was there in the Superdome at that game.
Oh my God!
I was there, and you, like you said, you beat them 9-6. I came in the locker room to see Reggie Calvin. I came in the locker room that night. I'll never forget it. I was there. Yep. I was there the night you kicked.
That year.
Was it all field goals?
Yeah, I was real fortunate to be able to put in position. I think that year we won 7 games and 5 of them were by field goals.
Woo!
This was I guess my junior year, and that was David's senior year. And my junior year, I kicked 11 points, 11 for 11, and we won 7 ball games. My senior year, we won 7 ball games, vice versa, and I kicked 11 extra points. My junior year, we kicked 36 extra points.
Holy cow!
Had a defense my senior year too.
We're going to talk about that in a little while when we talk about your son Matt's team, Catholic High School, who is the only local team left in the playoffs and playing in the state semifinal tomorrow in Bradford and Stark, Florida. We're going to talk a little bit about special teams and defense, how important that is. But let's not stray too far from the subject. I got to expound on this bronze shoe. My gosh, it was the straight, right? You had a square toe, and it was the straight shoe.
I kicked soccer style just like everybody else, and it was just one of my shoes that they bronzed and put in a trophy case.
Oh, so you kick soccer style?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Adams, how much did you weigh back then?
I was about 220, 225. It was a lot different back, I was 6 when he played middle linebacker.
Yeah, that was a big kicker.
Yeah, it was huge kicker.
A huge
it was
kicker.
Like,
You were a huge
it was
kicker.
Sebastian Janikowski big, the kicker.
Yeah.
But not the all right. So you go to Vanderbilt, you meet a cheerleader, and she just so happens to be the daughter of Tennessee Hall of Fame coach Fred Pancoast.
Yeah.
Talk about that dynamic. Was he your coach while you were dating his daughter?
Yeah, I was pretty foolish to do stuff.
No, you're pretty brave.
All the players we played with, and I couldn't go to lunch and go through the lunch line without them pulling a prank and writing them that there was always something going on. But I was real lucky that she came my sophomore year, and she was a cheerleader. And the story goes, Fred tells it, he embellishes it and got bigger and bigger, of course. Knoxville, Tennessee, my senior year, and the score was tied 14-14. 106,000 people in the stands. His story was, he put his arm around me, called timeout, and said, "Look, you see that little blonde over there cheering for you on that sideline? You got to make this field goal." And I said, "Fred, I would pee in my pants if you told me that." Really, of course, he didn't tell me any of that. And
yeah. What did he say? What do you remember him saying to you?
He didn't say anything. I was trying,
Yeah, nobody says anything to the kicker right before a big kick. They don't, they say they're not superstitious, but every one of them won't say a word.
I felt very lucky because I was into the game as a linebacker. So
yeah.
I was not like cold coming off the bench, and I always wanted to come down to me, be honest with you. I just love the pressure of it.
I don't think people down here realize how big that Vanderbilt Tennessee game is in the state of Tennessee. It is absolutely huge.
It is big. It is big, and I unfortunately we hadn't beat them too many times here recently, and I don't know when the last time we beat them. It must have been about 10 years ago. Then
Well,
it was a 75 year we beat them.
Well, I know when my Coach Paul Bear Bryant was coaching at Vanderbilt, they beat him. I mean, he turned Vanderbilt around back in the day. People don't remember him coaching at Vanderbilt, but he did. All right, let's talk about your Hall of Fame father-in-law, Coach Fred Pancoast. he was coaching, if I'm not mistaken, or if Luke's not mistaken, your son Luke, his grandfather coached Steve Spurrier, was the offensive coordinator. Steve Spurrier won the Heisman of Florida.
That's exactly right. That was his second stint in coaching. He went to Tampa first, then he went to University of Florida, coached quarterbacks, and was the offensive coordinator there when Spurrier won the Heisman. And then he went to Georgia as offensive coordinator under Dooley. Then he got his first head coaching job at University of Memphis at that time. Stayed there and very, very successful. Took them way up and like put 38 players in the pros and really had to go. And then he made the wrong move and came to Vanderbilt. But
did he replace Steve Sloan?
He followed Steve Sloan.
Well, all right. Talk about a couple. I want to talk a little bit about Reggie Calvin. Was there a guy named Robert Hartley also from here that went to Vanderbilt?
Yes, Robert was here too, and came up and he played a couple of years and something happened. I don't know what happened.
Maybe gotten injured or something, because back then, if you got ACL or injury, your career was over.
But Ancos came and we were a senior group at that time, and there was 21 out of 22 starters that left, graduated. So there wasn't anything behind us. We had a big
21 out of 22 starters left.
That was my class, and we graduated.
Holy cow! Let's talk about your best friend, David Lee, 40-year NFL veteran. Been to 15 teams over his 40-year career. Just an amazing. He's actually from Missouri, but he moved here to Pensacola, and you went to high school with him. But talk about Coach Lee and some of the places that he's been, and some of the coaches that maybe he's talked to you about that he admires, and some of his stories.
Well, David is by for sure my best friend I've ever had. We've been through some ups and downs together, and we've always pulled each other out. And David, of course, was the quarterback. He graduated and then got into coaching, and then he made a couple of. He was at Arkansas. He was the head coach at UTEP one time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Vanderbilt. He's been at Miami Dolphins recently.
Well, then he went with Parcells to the. He was Romo's coach.
Wow.
And then when Parcells went to Miami, he took David with him, and
I forgot about that. Yes, I forgot about that.
And then once Parcells retired, David started to move around to different teams. I think, like you said, it was a bunch of them.
Coach, tell me a Bill Parcells story, or maybe even since Coach Lee has spent more time with him, maybe Coach Lee has told you a story or two about Parcells. But do you have anything that jumps out?
Hell on the air, so
just keep it clean. It's a podcast. It's all right.
It was really neat to me because since I played for him and came, quote, a Parcells boy, he had all these sayings, and he took it to the NFL with him, and it was fun for me to hear some of the sayings he had on, even back when I played for him.
Mm-hmm.
Out on the field, and he says, Adams, he said, I just put a rock in my shoe, so I'm going to be irritated at you all day long. You understand? Half the time. We can't find you. You're just lost. And then, Adams, your mama really know you're trying to play football out here? He had sayings that were the same sayings when he was coaching Lawrence Taylor, for instance.
He had a lot of Coach Perkins coached like that. He would needle you all day long. You try to push your button, try to push your buttons, push your buttons. Well, let's start. Let's talk about your children. You got 5 beautiful kids, 3 boys, 2 girls. Lindsay and Amanda were athletes as well. Volleyball, Lindsay, and Amanda had soccer. But your oldest boy, Jake, was a great dual sport athlete, as were the other ones. But he went on to play baseball at Rice, and then he finished up at Louisiana Tech. Is that right? Talk a little bit about Jake. What made him special and set the stage for his younger brothers?
Jake was a great athlete in a lot of sports. He was my speed demon. He was
the fast one.
He did really good at baseball, but again, he tried to run through the center field fence and tore up his shoulder, kept him out of, maybe having a chance. Matt, he was a quarterback there at Catholic. He got the heck beat out of him. I think he blew out both shoulders, both knees, broke wrist, and a broke back, and 2 concussions. That was in high school.
Oh my gosh.
And then he still got a scholarship to Memphis. Then he went up there, and his freshman year, he blew his right shoulder out again. And they said, that's it. We have to screw you back together, and you're going home.
Boy, what a tough son of a gun Matt is. People don't realize it, but I use him as an example on my show about courage, because he fought back cancer years ago and never blamed anyone or ever felt sorry for himself. But he was a good example to the kids when he fought back cancer there 10, 12 years ago, Mark.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was talking about Matt when he fought back cancer. He's a tough cookie.
Oh, that was unreal. That was, really hard for him, I know, but it was hard for us to come by and watch that happen. But that's just God's blessing. He wasn't ready to take him at the time. Great ever since then.
Yeah.
Mark, do you remember when, Matt played baseball as well? And do you remember the time that the guy from Jacksonville was leading the game off, big 6'2", 6'3", 6'4" guy, running up there 92, 93, 94, and Matt takes like the first pitch in the head. And you remember that playoff game at Catholic High?
No, I don't.
That's what I remember about your son. You're talking about tough, hard-nosed competitor. Everything that coach talks about, and I imagine what that you're made of as well.
We've been so blessed, and Matt was so talented and a gifted athlete. Jake was always real. He said, Dad, I've been practicing baseball this whole time, and Matt comes off spring football practice, come out there. In one game, he hits the first 2 home runs the first time up. He ain't even seen
I believe it.
Man is so humble too, man. He could be out there, I never even knew that. And I coached 8 years with him, man. He's so humble. He was an all-around athlete.
The pro baseball scouts came to us personally and said, if your son will not play football his senior year, we will draft him. We want to draft him.
Wow.
He should have played baseball. He should have never went on that football field. He should have played baseball. He was a football player on the baseball field. He was a maniac. I think people will run through brick walls for guys. Those are the guys that like Avature, those guys in the pros, that's what they're made of.
Well, that's maybe why he helps him as a good coach, right? Maybe that's why he's such a good coach.
Yeah.
Play for him, I think.
What's that, Mark?
They really love to play for him, and I hope they're coming up tomorrow night.
Yeah, let's talk about this. Let's talk a little bit about this. I was there in 2010 during the state semifinal game. Then the Catholic went 2013 at Clay. And then now 2023, Matt's third Final Four. They went to the state finals, of course, in 2004. Catholic did. Big wins, especially last week, the region title, goal line offense, that the scrum that he's put in. Mark, it does a few things. It controls the clock and the tempo, limits the other team's possessions. I'd like to say it limits turnovers, but they had one fumble. And they just rely on great defense and great kicking games. That's why it's called special teams. Do you think those are some of the reasons that he's where he is at now? What was Matt's thinking changing the offense?
Well, he wasn't expecting to change it that much all at one time. I think we went out against Walton, and he was going to do what they call the Panther. They call it a Panther.
Right. And,
well, it just kept on working. And he said, Daddy was playing A, but they wouldn't ever stop us. I mean,
that's a sign. That's a sign of, hey, if it ain't broken, don't fix it, man.
I think pretty much for Florida High, that was going to be planned A, and all of a sudden we looked up and the first half is over with. I mean, it was unbelievable how fast these games go by when you run the ball every time.
Yeah.
How many possessions did Walton have?
Not very many at all. I know that. I know Coach Mack was telling me Florida High had 2 possessions the first half.
Oh my goodness! There you go, folks. Right there. That limit, it just limits the high. Takes the air right out of the ball. Those high flying offenses cannot get rolling. They can't get in a rhythm. They don't have the ball to do so. It gets frustrating after a while. It just piles on and piles on. So the boys are leaving today, right, for Stark, Florida. Are they stopping off halfway? Are they practicing somewhere over there, Coach?
I think they're going to stay in Lake City to spend the night, and they were going to stop somewhere. I don't know where they were going to stop, just to let them get out and visit a stadium, I think, somewhere. And I think it might have been at Tallahassee. But that was probably, I think, a good move to go and get over there. Sounds like a rainy forecast too. So
right. So that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
That's even better
because Bradford, their opponent tomorrow night, 13-0, only given up 49 points all year, 6 shutouts on the year, and the most they've given up all year is 13 points in one game. So it's going to be a tough row to hoe. But I know maybe, they can find something on film. Have you talked to Matt this week about his practices and so forth?
Very talented team. We're going to have to play our best ball to beat them.
Yeah.
Be a controlled ball. They're on both sides of the ball, looks like. They're going to try to control it on us, and we're going to try to control it on them. And it's a matter of, who gets the turnovers and makes that's usually how it goes in these games.
Well, should be close. So hopefully it just stays close. Keep it up until the fourth quarter, right?
Exactly.
I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about my favorite Adams boy. I mean, you did grow up right down the street here at Tripoli Studios, right down the street on Larry Drive where I live. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about my favorite boy, Luke. Luke is special to me. We both played for the same coach, even though we're 50 years apart. Luke played for George O'Leary of Central Florida, and I played for him at Liverpool. But he told me some stories about George that we're going to have to get him on the podcast and have him tell some O'Leary stories. I talked to Luke last night, and he's doing great. He just got married, and you're going to have probably another grandson, hopefully, or granddaughter soon. Talk about Luke, how he transformed into a Division I starter.
Luke was our big guy, our tall guy. I mean, he's about 6'4", but like a baby giraffe running, looked like legs and arms were everywhere. But then he kind of filled out, and he was a good all-around athlete too. He was really good in baseball and basketball too. But decided to go football and down to UCF. Really enjoyed it down there and had 2 or 3 different head coaches, but Larry was one of them. I guess that was the last of the old school, that I would call it, coaches. So he was definitely old school.
Yes, he was. Coach O'Leary is nothing new school about Coach George O'Leary. I don't know, man. I don't know why I was a coach. I played for 2 of the hardest, most disciplined coaches in the world, but I didn't coach like them when I coached. I just couldn't. I couldn't coach like they did. I don't know if it was right or wrong, but I did try to take both of them. I did use a lot of their style and philosophies, and that's why on my show I do talk about Coach O'Leary and Coach Brian a lot, because they were masters at a lot of things. But I would be, tell Luke, hopefully you'll see Luke next week. Did y'all sell Daybreak Marina? I heard that. I don't know if that's true or not.
For my part of it, yes. I started in 1989. I was 100% owner, and Jake for me since I failed. And basically, him and the 4 other local owners. So I'm completely out of it.
Wow. How did you start it, Mark?
Ignorant. I didn't know any better. I love fishing and boating, and I was changing my life as far as career. I was selling insurance for my father-in-law, Fred, up there, and probably should have stayed in that. It would have made a lot more money, but I decided to go in this. I went this head first. I researched it for a year and traveled around. What I liked about different dry storage marinas and what I didn't like, and I took a chance in 1989 and opened it. So it's been a good bit.
Great investment, great risk taking, beautiful. I'm sorry.
I've enjoyed it. It was a great way to make a living.
Yeah. Fishing and boating, and yeah, not so bad, Mark. Did pretty well for yourself with a Vandy degree, right? Harvard of the South.
About all.
How about that Iron Bowl last week?
When they get together, you just never know. My gosh. What was it 4th and 34 and throw it up? Good gosh.
You never know. I should have warned people last week. My senior year, we were 4-6 at Alabama. Auburn was 8-2. Bo Jackson, we didn't have a chance. Nobody thought we were going to win. We won 17-15. We won.
Was that the 2 block punts?
I know. I almost got my finger on that field goal though that he missed, 42-yarder with 2 seconds to go. It just my too bad my arms are too short. My fingers, I would have got it, but he did pull it left. And we did pull it off. My dad got to see it. My brother came down. Yeah, it was a great Iron Bowl win. All right, Mike, you want to stay with us? We're going to do a little college football picks. We do it every week. Hobbs is catching up to me.
Hey.
Yeah, he had a big week, 12-6 against the spread last week. Hobbs was. He was on fire. All right, Mark, Georgia, of course, -6 versus Alabama at 3 o'clock on CBS. I never go against Alabama. And I usually win 70% of the time against the spread. I'm going Bama. Hobbs going Georgia because he's got to catch me. He's got to pick up.
Lock of the week, Georgia. Last week, lock of the week was not Louisville. This week, ride with Georgia.
You got Georgia or Alabama?
I'm going to pick Alabama.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Mark's got Alabama.
Oh.
All right, Michigan, really, I think one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the country. 22.5-point favorites versus number 16, Iowa, 7 o'clock on Fox. I don't know about this point spread. I think maybe get a turnover. I'm going to take the points. I'm going to take Iowa.
I'll take the many points. My gosh.
I know, it's 22. I know, right? So Washington, talk about a lot of points. Washington's almost given up 10 now to Oregon. I know Oregon's hot. Bo Nix is a Heisman Trophy front runner. But Penix Jr., Washington have a chance. That's Friday night, 7 o'clock on ABC. I can't go against Bo Nix. I'm taking Nix.
I'll take the points. First time going against Bo Nix all year.
Okay.
I'll take Oregon.
Taking Oregon, Marquez. And then FSU without their quarterback. Hobbs is an FSU guy. I'll get into a long debate if we get into it about FSU. They're not the same without their starting quarterback. 2.5-point favorites versus number 14 Louisville, 7 o'clock ABC on Saturday.
Oh, I got FSU.
Hobbs taking FSU.
I'm going to take FSU too.
Yeah, me too. I can't go against Louisville. Just doesn't look very good. All right, and then we got the Sun Belt Conference. App State at Troy, 3 p.m. on ESPN. Troy is -6. I'm taking Troy.
Ooh. -6?
Yep.
I'll take the points.
All right, Hobbs are going with App State. Mark, who you got? Troy. Mark's got Troy, and then Army, Navy's next week, Tulane, SMU. Nobody cares about that conference.
Tulane. I think it's going to be a good game.
Oh, is it? Tulane, 3.5-point favorites versus SMU, 3 o'clock on ABC. I'll take Tulane.
I like Tulane.
Okay.
Who do you like, Mark? Sir?
Tulane's really got a pretty good team.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Well, I just want to give a shout out because Danny Warfel's been on my show, friend of the show, and I follow him and all his great college football premier award for community service. 3 finalists: Ladden McConkey, Georgia, junior wide receiver; Blake Corum, the running back at Michigan; and J.D. Bertram, Notre Dame senior linebacker. So congratulations to those 3 finalists. Mark, thanks so much for joining the show. I just want to tell everybody, if you like my podcast, like it and share. Go to my YouTube channel, search Paul Tripoli Coach's Corner, and subscribe since it's free. If it's free, it's for me. Mark, it's always a joy to have you on the show. It's great to see you.
We'll see y'all later.
All right.
Go Satyrs. Go Satyrs.
Go Satyrs. Go
get 'em. Satyrs. Go Satyrs.
Go get them tomorrow. Bring it back.
Yeah,
bring it back alive.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for these messages. Without them, this just wouldn't be possible. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great sports weekend.
CC's Home Improvement is a full-service handyman services company offering the best in commercial and residential repair and improvement services. Call 850-497-2524. We specialize in kitchen and bathroom updates, painting, flooring, fencing, and so much more. You got a mess? Call the best. CC's Home Improvement. 850-497-2524. 850-497-2524. See ya.
There's a reason why Hill Kelly in Pensacola is the #1 selling Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram dealer between Jacksonville and New Orleans. While other dealers have taken advantage of a competitive market with higher prices, Hill Kelly has discounted prices to the lowest of the year. And Hill Kelly in Pensacola won't surprise you with excessive charges beyond the selling price. Come see why people from Milton, Pace, Foley, Bay Minette, Daphne, Gulf Shores, Mobile, and beyond are driving to Hill Kelly in Pensacola to buy their next new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram. At Hill Kelly, the bottom line price and your satisfaction are what really matter. So before you sign, check the bottom line and make the trip to Hill Kelly in Pensacola to see what true local ownership can do for you. At Hill Kelly Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Highway 29 in Car City, Pensacola. Or shop online 24/7 at HillKellyDodge.com. When it comes to bottom line pricing, nobody beats a Hill Kelly deal. Nobody.
Bill. Some game, huh?
I haven't really noticed, Paul.
What? The biggest game of the year?
I've been looking over my insurance. Talk about problems I'm trying to figure out.
Well, do what I did. Call the Seiler Agency. They showed me what I needed and what I didn't. They even saved me money. Now, instead of worrying about my insurance, I can worry about the big game.
Contact the Seiler Agency at 476-7443 for all of your insurance needs. Your independent agent for home, auto, boat, RV, commercial, general liability, life, and sound investment strategies. Call 476-7443 today.
Are you riding around in a filthy vehicle? Dirty car no more. Visit Ronnie's Car Wash today to get it shining in no time. They have 3 convenient locations with another coming soon. The unlimited monthly wash packages start as low as $14.95 per month with free vacuums, multi-purpose spray and towels. Visit them in Gulf Breeze, Navarre, Fort Walton, and soon Crestview. Don't wait, wash today. Be sure to see Ronnie's Car Wash on Facebook to see the latest specials and discounts. You'll be riding and shining in no time.
Step One works so hard to get you in the perfect car.
Looking for a better car buying experience? With the Step One Advantage from Buick GMC, Fort Walton Beach, and Pensacola, receive no-hassle market-based pricing or incentives by pre-ordering. Looking to sell or trade? Our dedicated team will even come to you. Plus, every vehicle sold at Step One supports local charities right in your neighborhood. Experience the Step One Advantage at Buick GMC, Fort Walton Beach, and Pensacola today.
Barnes Heating and Air is a proud sponsor of Alabama football, serving the entire Pensacola community for over 50 years. Barnes Heating and Air is passionate about providing customers with world-class air conditioning and heating repairs, sales, and installation. Barnes Heating and Air is family-owned, insured, and committed to quality. For a free estimate, call 478-0141. Barnes Heating and Air is #1 in customer service with service calls 7 days a week. Call Barnes Heating and Air, 478-0141, and roll Tide.
My name is Steve Reynolds. I'm the manager and owner of Cordova Lanes, and we help keep your mind out of the gutter. Cordova Lanes is part of the community of Pensacola. Being here for 43 years, we've entertained more people than any other bowling center in the city. We sell fun for a living. Cordova Lanes is located at 2111 Airport Boulevard in Pensacola, behind Cordova Mall. Come on out and see us at Cordova Lanes Bowling Center. Thank you.